You walk into Target for toothpaste. You walk out $186 poorer. You open your banking app and think, wait, how did that even happen? Look, if you've ever told yourself, I make decent money, so why does it feel like I'm always behind? This video is going to hit a little close to home. Because here's the thing. The ultra-wealthy don't win because they buy more. They win because they refuse to buy certain things. And most of us are still buying them every single week. My name is Bruce, and I spend way too much time thinking about how everyday financial decisions quietly determine your future net worth. If you're someone who works hard, earns decent money, but still feels like wealth is just slightly out of reach, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Now let's talk about the 10 things the ultra-wealthy refuse to buy that you probably still do, and we're going to break this down with math and psychology, because both matter. 1. Brand new luxury cars. Let's just start with the obvious. According to data from Experian, the average new car payment in the US is over $700 per month. That's $8,400 per year. Invest that $700 monthly at an average 8% return for 30 years. You're looking at roughly $1 million. Now here's what most people don't realize. Many millionaires don't drive flashy cars. Research from Thomas Stanley, author of The Millionaire Next Door, found that the most common millionaire cars were Toyotas, Hondas, and Fords, not Ferraris. Psychology check. You're not buying transportation, you're buying status signaling. Ultra-wealthy people, they buy assets first, status later. 2. Extended warranties on everything. Look, this one might hurt. Retailers push extended warranties because they're insanely profitable. Statistically, most extended warranties go unused. Companies price them so that they win long term. Now you might be thinking, but what if something breaks? That fear is the product. Ultra-wealthy people self-insure small risks. They keep liquidity and pay out of pocket when necessary. They understand probability. You're buying peace of mind. They're buying expected value. 3. Designer clothes for everyday life. The global luxury fashion market is worth hundreds of billions of dollars annually, but many billionaires, including Warren Buffett, are famously simple dressers. Here's the analogy. If your house isn't paid off and you're financing $900 sneakers, that's like putting a gold-plated mailbox in front of a rented apartment. Looks impressive, does nothing for net worth. Psychology, identity consumption. You're dressing for the person you want others to believe you are. Wealthy individuals, they focus on becoming that person financially first. 4. Lottery tickets. Americans spend over $100 billion per year on lottery tickets. Here's the math. The expected value of most lottery tickets is negative, sometimes around 50 cents on the dollar. You are statistically guaranteed to lose over time. Now here's what most people don't realize. The lottery is a tax on mathematical illiteracy. Ultra-wealthy people don't gamble for wealth. They invest for probability. 5. Credit card interest. Average credit card interest rates hover around 20% or more. If you carry a $5,000 balance at 20% interest and only make minimum payments, you could pay thousands in interest alone. This is where I get really interesting. If someone offered you a guaranteed 20% return on investment, you'd think that's insane, right? But when you carry credit card debt, you're guaranteeing a 20% loss. Wealthy individuals refuse to pay high interest. They understand compounding works both ways. 6. Overpriced homes. They qualify. For just because the bank approves you for $600,000 doesn't mean you should spend $600,000. Banks approve based on risk tolerance, not your long-term wealth goals. According to housing data, homeowners spend thousands annually on maintenance alone, often 1 to 3% of home value per year. On a $600,000 home, that's up to $18,000 annually. Now, you might be thinking, but a house is an investment. Sometimes. But your primary residence is often a lifestyle asset first. Ultra-wealthy individuals buy homes they can comfortably afford, then deploy capital elsewhere. 7. Daily convenience inflation. Uber Eats, DoorDash. Daily $6 lattes. Here's the thing. A $6 coffee 5 days a week is $30. That's $120 per month, $1,440 per year. Invested for 30 years at 8%, roughly $163,000. And that's just coffee. Convenience feels small. Compounding turns small into massive. Psychology, present bias. We overweight immediate pleasure and discount future wealth. Ultra-wealthy people delay gratification strategically. 8. Timeshares. This one's blunt. Timeshares are notoriously difficult to exit and often depreciate immediately. You're locking yourself into future spending obligations. Now here's what most people don't realize. Flexibility is wealth. The ultra-wealthy prioritize optionality. They want the ability to pivot. A timeshare reduces flexibility. Liquidity equals power. 9. Trend-chasing investments. Crypto during hype cycles. Meme stocks. Guaranteed trading systems. According to Dalbar studies, the average investor underperforms the market significantly, often because of emotional buying and selling. Psychology is the killer here. FOMO, fear of missing out, drives people to buy high and sell low. Ultra-wealthy investors focus on long-term strategy. They understand that boring investing wins. It's like planting trees instead of chasing fireworks. 10. Lifestyle inflation with every raise. This is the silent killer. You get a $10,000 raise. Instead of investing it, you upgrade your car, move to a nicer apartment, increase subscriptions. Suddenly, you feel just as broke, but at a higher income level. Here's what most people don't realize. If you invest a $10,000 annual raise instead of spending it at 8% over 25 years, that's over $730,000. One raise, one decision, almost $750,000. Ultra-wealthy individuals automate increases in investing before upgrading lifestyle. They don't expand expenses at the same rate as income. Notice something? None of these things are illegal. None are evil. They're just common. And that's the problem. Wealth isn't usually destroyed by one catastrophic decision. It's quietly drained by socially normalized spending. Look, I'm not saying never enjoy your life. I'm saying understand trade-offs. Every dollar you spend is either consuming your past effort or purchasing your future freedom. Ultra-wealthy people obsess over that distinction. Action steps you can apply today. Audit one recurring expense and calculate its 20-year future value. Set an automatic investment increase for your next raise. Adopt a 48-hour rule before any non-essential purchase over $200. Pay off high-interest debt aggressively before investing. Ask this question before buying. Am I buying comfort, status, or future freedom? Awareness creates leverage. Leverage creates wealth. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't have an income problem. They have a decision problem. And the ultra-wealthy? They win because they consistently refuse to make socially popular but financially destructive choices. This is where I'll challenge you. You don't need to earn like the wealthy to think like them. You just need to start refusing what they refuse. Small decisions, repeated consistently, compounded over decades. That's how ordinary incomes build extraordinary net worth. If this video made you rethink even one purchase, hit that subscribe button. Because we're building financial intelligence here, not just chasing motivation. And I'll see you in the next one.